Hi, we're here again. We're here with Joe and Kelly. Hello, how are you guys?
Hey, how's it
Yes,
going?
what's up? We are live. Oh
I'm
shit.
good.
Folks, hi. Let me just say hi to chat real quick, and then we'll come back and I'll let you guys introduce yourselves. We got John here from Part Time Comics. What's up, John? Hi. Says Kelly is the best. Oh my gosh.
I'm all right.
You're all right. All right. I'd say you're awesome considering you have the greatest name on Twitter I've ever seen in my life.
I'm gonna
Uh,
be sad to see it go when Twitter just collapses.
oh, also true, which is amazing because we have a ton of wrestling fans in here, and every other Friday, there's a show where they battle each other in wrestling personas, and they battle with comic book covers. So,
Ah, nice.
yes,
That's
you
fun.
fit right in. We got the Wonger. What's up, Wong? We got Gene. Hello, Gene. What's happening? We got Las Cruces. Hello, Las Cruces. We have the greatest mod of all time and the greatest farter in the UK. What's up, Glenn? Hi. Got Boggs. What's up, Boggs? We got the Beefaroni. What's up, Beefaroni? Hi. Oh my gosh. Where's everybody going? Oh, we got what's up, Wild? How are you doing?
What's up, playa?
Yeah. Yeah. Sup, Lisa? Hi, Lisa. All right. I think chat is all cut up. We'll find out because StreamYard's been doing some wonky stuff where it'll post a lot of stuff and then freeze for a hot minute and then just go bloop, bloop, bloop. So
Oh, is
we
that
seem
what
to be,
we're?
yeah.
What we're I
Yeah.
thought this was Zoom. I wasn't really paying attention when I opened
Actually, it's way easier than Zoom. You don't even have to download anything or punch in some stupid codes. But oh, hey
it. It
Ben,
seems like a pain every time I do Zoom. So yeah,
I
I
don't
was
like Zoom.
surprised
I think
it was.
this is fairly easier. You just click a link, really. All right. I think we're all done catching up with the chat. Nope, I lied. Hi, Schulte. How are you? Hey. Hello.
Chicago.
Oh, yeah. Energy drink just kicked in. Hi. So I am here with Joe and Kelly. Hello. Hi. Nice to meet both of you. Would you
You as
guys
well.
like
Thanks for
to?
having us.
No, you're no problem. Thanks for coming on. Would you like to introduce yourselves?
Sure. You want to start, Kelly?
Go ahead, Joe. Go ahead.
All right. So my name is Joe Sieracki. I am the writer of The Life and Death of the Brave Captain Suave from Scout Comics, as well as another collaboration with Kelly, A Letter to Joe from Top Shelf Comics. I also last year had a original graphic novel come out from Humanoids with artist Jesse Lonergan called Ghosts of Science Past. So those are my currently published works. In addition to that, I am also a high school teacher in a suburb of Cleveland, Ohio, which is where I'm born and raised. And if anybody has yet to check out The Life and Death of the Brave Captain Suave, you'll quickly find that Cleveland plays a pretty big role in the story and in the book itself. So there's a little bit about me.
Nice. It's amazing how many people I have on here and they're teachers by day.
It's a good gig.
Well,
Let's
if
make
you
you
want
big.
to change it up a little, I do not teach during the day. I draw comics during the day. So,
Okay.
yeah, I'm Kelly Williams. I just said I draw comics. I majority of the stuff I've done is horror. I've worked with tons of publishers and creator-owned stuff. As Joe said, we work together well, frequently, I guess. And I don't know. I draw a lot of comics. You can find them.
I posted all the links to you guys in the chat, so they can very well find you. And then you do a mixture of art. You do comic stuff and you do horror stuff. Yeah. So did that get you in first comics, or did you start drawing horror stuff first? or is it kind of a mixture of both?
It was kind of a mixture of both, but I mean, the comics that I gravitated to the most when I really got into comics were horror comics. So, I guess it just kind of made sense that that would be the way I went, I guess. I don't know. I think it's fun to do a lot of stuff, not just horror, but like at the same time, by the time we were finished with Suave, I was missing horror a little bit. So the next thing I'm doing is that. So it's fun. It feels good.
Okay, that's cool.
Kelly, I don't know. I want to follow up on that. I don't know if I ever directly asked you this, but which horror comics specifically really like brought you to that genre? Like what creators?
Are you trying to be funny? Is that what this is?
Oh no, I was about to ask you that too. So we have a lot of super horror comic fans.
Well, it's just I feel like I've talked about this.
Oh, okay.
But Swamp Thing #1, like a reprint of that, was what really. That was the thing that got me into comics and like made me realize that like there were people that made the comics. Like it wasn't just like, oh hey, here's a comic book. Like there were people that drew them and wrote them and stuff. And I didn't care about who wrote them or anything when I was a kid. I was just worried about the artist. And then I learned to, be more interested in the story and stuff. But yeah.
So you're talking the original Bernie Wrightson stuff, right?
Yeah. Wrightson.
Oh,
Wrightson
amazing.
Was kind of my first crush. My the thing that I like really latched onto, and I think part of what stuck out to me for that was that I realized that I was a fan of Wrightson before I realized I was, because of like work he had done outside of comics, like Cycle of the Werewolf and stuff. I used to see that book, and I would just stand in the store and like flip through it like every time I went in there. Like it was just, I was obsessed with it. Never bought it, but I was obsessed with it.
Oh, I used to go to bookstores all the time and flip through all the weird, art books all the time. They were heavy as hell and expensive for a kid. Like you get the way you were paid $40 as a kid for a book.
I'm sure it was fun to be in this relatively conservative small town, and I'm just this little kid standing there flipping through this gory ass book, and multiple times, not just. I'm sure somebody had to have noticed that, I probably came in there 10 to 20 times flipping through that book and then just putting it back and leaving.
Yeah, maybe you're.
So
maybe some people in the chat might know this, because I don't know the answer off the top of my head. But have they ever done a decent reprint of his Frankenstein stuff?
Oh,
well, they were going to do an artist edition of it.
Were they?
Still supposed to happen? I don't know.
Like, I hope it does.
It was pretty big. Like, I mean, they announced it and everything. It was IDW and
okay.
And then it just kind of went quiet. So I haven't seen that it got canceled or anything, but
they've been canceling a lot of books lately.
They have been canceling a lot of things. Yeah.
They canceled the equivalent of a publisher this last time.
Yeah.
By just canning all of their. I was talking to somebody about this yesterday, and I kind of feel like I'm like, doesn't IDW do this every few years? Like they just kind of all of a sudden decide to shift focus, and like I'm sure that I'm sure this was all of a sudden for the creators, but IDW's probably been doing this, like planning, working towards this for a little while at least. So
yeah, there's I know they had a few like Kickstarter campaigns for a lot of like the Universal monster stuff, There's one complete edition of the works of Nosferatu on right now. So maybe when that's done, they'll put the Frank stuff up, because
Maybe
they kind of seem like they're jumping from monster to monster, but it's like the whole complete works. It's like comic books and books and everything and movies for Nosferatu. So that's actually happening like now.
Oh,
I
wow.
think it's on Indiegogo. Yeah, it's pretty awesome. So that could be what they're doing, because I've seen a lot of times where they cancel it, then they'll move it to like a Kickstarter type thing. That's been also happening a lot. Yeah.
Well, they don't have Transformers or G.I. Joe anymore, so they got to do something.
True. Yeah, that jump shipped.
Still got the Turtles, though. I like the Turtles.
Turtles going strong.
Your life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have Star Trek, too.
So
they seem to be doing
Star Trek.
a lot of Star Trek stuff right now. So,
I see, Jay.
Hi to everybody saying hello in the chat there. Appreciate that.
Yes.
I can't keep up with you guys.
Yeah, it's gonna. Yeah, it gets quite chatty. Kind of quiet right now. That's okay. They're good. So was Captain Suave the first book that you worked on, or did you work on The Letter to Joe first?
The Letter to Joe was actually our first collaboration.
It was his first book.
That was my first. That was
nice.
also my first published book as well. We had gotten hooked up together with an editor. Originally, actually, I had a different artist that I had worked on some pitch pages with, and we sent that over to Chris Steros at Top Shelf. He liked it. He wanted to see more. That artist didn't end up working out, however, so the editor suggested Kelly, and Kelly did a page for us to look at, and I was just totally blown away. I was looking at some of his other stuff, and being primarily a horror artist, a lot of it was horror. So I was like, I don't know if this is going to necessarily translate. And then quickly realized, well, what is war if not horror? So Kelly just knocked that book out of the park. We ended up kind of becoming friends from there, and pretty quickly realized that we wanted to do something else together. And that kind of got the ball running on The Life and Death of the Brave Captain Suave.
Very nice. Which I enjoy both. I really like your art style, and I like the way that you write. So that's one of the things that caught me when I was reading through Captain Suave.
Thanks.
Yeah, I thought it was hilarious. Just the way that he was, speaking, and I really liked the dynamic between all the characters in Captain Suave. I still need to read The Letter to Joe, but I do.
Really. Why don't I tell you a little bit about that book as well as everybody in the chat, and introduce them both for those of you that are not familiar with the works. So A Letter to Joe is a graphic novelization of a letter that my grandfather, Leonard Sieracki, had written my grandmother, Josephine Sieracki, hence the name Joe short for Josephine, at the end of World War II. He touched down in Normandy a couple of days after D-Day, and started making his way through France and Germany from there. And because there was a lot of censorship in mail going back overseas, because there was fear that the enemy might intercept that and gain information from those letters home. He wasn't really able to detail his experience to my grandmother until the very end of the war, when he was out of the fighting. So he really kind of like laid all the cards on the table, his experience, everything that happened. And Kelly and I took that letter, and we crafted a story around it. And the book itself actually includes in captions his original words. So it's all kind of part of the story there.
That's super cool.
Thank you. So that's A Letter to Joe. That was our first collaboration and my first book. And then the Life and Death of the Brave Captain Suave is basically a modern take on Don Quixote. And if you're not familiar with Don Quixote was a man that was convinced that he was a knight errant. Except in our story, that's a little bit dated. Ours is a homeless man living in Cleveland, Ohio, who believes he's a golden age superhero. So he's comics obsessed, and he's bumbling around downtown Cleveland trying to basically do what Don Quixote did. He's trying to do good as a superhero might. And there's a lot of hijinks that ensue with that. I would say that it's a book that's got a lot of comedy, but there's also a lot of heart. Kelly does some pretty unique things with this book that I've personally never seen in any comic book. Kelly normally works in pencil inks and watercolors. However, for all of the fantasy parts of the book, he digitally colors that in a kind of an old school pulled out dot patterning to mimic a golden age comic. So you get a kind of a clear distinction between the reality of what's going on with his hand painted watercolors versus what the hero thinks is happening, what's actually in his head in that digital coloring pattern. And in my opinion, I think it blends really well together.
It does. I really like the style that you picked for the art on here. So when you were going through different styles, was that something that you had to do a lot of before you found the one that you liked for Joe and for Captain Suave?
Well, I don't know that I tried too much, other than I guess maybe the most of the back and forth on it maybe was figuring out if the two different style thing was going to work on the page. If it, it sounded like a good idea in my head, but who knows how it's going to work on the page. And once we got past that, I just drew it the way I draw, basically. So, just tried to keep from getting too black, I guess. How much ink I'm using.
Okay.
In fact, I pulled back on that so much that the book I'm finishing up now also doesn't have as much heavy blacks in it, just because I guess my brain just didn't shift out of that, But so it's more relies on painting more, I guess, the watercolor aspect.
Okay. Is that your preferred? Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I remember you did play around a little bit with some different coloring styles, at least for the fantasy parts.
Yeah.
And then we eventually said, let's just go full dot pattern and really commit to the whole golden age aspect of it. So, and then in color wise with a letter to Joe, something else that I know you consciously kind of made the palette a little bit darker as the story went to coincide with the deterioration of Leonard's state and his state of mind as he progressed through the war. So Kelly's colors definitely play a huge part, I think, in terms of the storytelling for both books.
Yes, I liked how you could tell when it was in the fantasy world versus the regular world in Suave, because the color just did change like that, and I think that was very neat when you did that. So
actually, I
pulled you
go
into
along with that. We got to give a shout out to our letterer on both books. Actually, his name is Taylor Esposito, because I don't know if you noticed or not, but the lettering style also switches between the reality and the fantasy. He goes to he starts with a more modern kind of lettering style for the reality, but then he switches to a more golden age type style for all of the fantasy stuff. So you actually get different lettering styles to also correspond with the different styles of art.
Yeah, I think that's really neat. And I think it really helps you, brings you into the story more because of that. So you guys did a great job on that.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So I was going to ask you before, Kelly, is watercolor your main medium that you like to work with?
It's the one.
Or you jump around?
Yeah, I guess so. Ink is really my big thing. For the longest time, I almost exclusively worked in black and white, and maybe ink washes or something. But now I even said probably while I was working on Suave that that was it. I wasn't painting any more comics, and that unless it was a really good reason for me to do it or my own personal thing.
Okay.
And I immediately just went back on that, and I'm painting everything now. And I don't know, it's a lot of work, but at the same time, like I do like that there's a little something that sets it apart, like especially with the landscape being so predominantly like digitally painted and produced stuff. I don't have a problem with that at all. I think it's great, but I'm just not as good as those people are with the computer. So the most I use computers for is coloring sometimes, and like I obviously colored those fantasy parts Suave with a computer, and
Okay.
it feels weird saying with a computer, but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it was all AI art then, right? Kelly wasn't even really doing
AI art. Oh, we got some questions about AI that I
so
starred.
that I could make a trash can.
Yeah, I was trying to look at some of the questions in the chat as well. I know that was, what do you guys think about AI art? So
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's good.
I don't.
You don't?
It's a bad idea.
It's garbage. It's plagiarism. It's not art.
Yeah. I also like it when people create stuff, even if it's all messed up. It looks just way better when it's actually created by a person, because you can always slightly tell.
The idea of AI for that is interesting. The idea of AI as a tool is interesting. But the idea of I'm an artist now because I typed some stuff in and like the AI did everything using stuff that already existed. I'm like, that's just a.
What are you expressing by doing that? I mean,
yeah.
So I also think that there will be, and it is inevitable, there will be applications to AI, but in terms of art, I don't feel like it's art. It's just plagiarism in my mind.
Yeah. It doesn't feel like art either, because you can slightly tell when you're seeing somebody that does like AI strictly art, the proportions are always kind of slightly wonky. And the way that it's just done, it just takes me out of whatever story that someone's trying to convey, because I like the grittiness of traditional art, even digital art, because a lot of digital art can really recreate traditionally really neat.
When a person is creating something, you get it with everything, like imperfections and all, and it does a lot to bring more life to whatever it is. Like, between that and the fact that like like I don't know, like it's just hard to imagine there being the same kind of purpose and feeling behind it.
Yeah.
Knowing a computer made it.
It doesn't really have a soul when you see the art that's done that way. And I actually like it when people do traditional art, but they don't do it perfectly. Like it took me many years to accept the flaws in my art, and it makes it, actually I think it enhances it, because like you have to work around that and then get all that. All right, you guys are covering a lot of the questions. You guys are killing me right now. This is the most important question I've seen so far, is how long did it take you to grow that beard?
Well, mine's about a week or so.
A week?
Yeah.
I got about a day on mine. Yeah.
Stick it out, but I assume that was me.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just started growing it one day, and here we are.
How long ago was that?
I don't remember, honestly.
Oh, it just happened.
Kelly's gonna come visit me. Kelly's coming to visit me pretty soon here in Cleveland, and my girls are looking forward to braiding it for him. So I'll be sure to post some pics of that for you guys.
Perfect. That'd be great.
and I feel obligated to allow it to happen even though.
It's kind of gotta happen if you're gonna go visit. It's kind of, it takes you negative 4 weeks to grow a beard. Wow, that's impressive. You do have an impressive beard, Biggie. Yes, I do. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Time is not linear, so that's entirely possible.
Joe just reminds me of Burke fam. I can't remember what he looks like, but I'll take your word for
Sounds
it.
handsome, this Burke fam.
What's a
It's another user on YouTube. It's a
really
channel.
handsome user, Kelly. Get off
A
it.
really handsome user. Wow.
There's too many good-looking people out there. I can't keep them all straight.
Yeah. There's so many, so many.
Yeah.
So we actually had a lot of questions that I was saving in here.
Start throwing them out.
Okay. Well, there's a lot of AR. Let me go to this one first because there's a lot of questions back to the air. What is your dream project?
I feel like I know Kelly's dream project better than I know my own.
Interesting.
That's because I don't shut up.
So should I say Kelly's or should I say mine?
I guess. Yeah, go both. Let's see let's see if we get that right.
So I've always, I guess a dream project for me is I'm totally cool just working creator-owned stuff, telling my own stories. And I'm content doing that, but I guess it would be pretty neat to be able to do my own story in the Star Wars universe. So I not a Luke Skywalker story or anything like that.
I want to do a Star Wars horror story.
Yes, that would be amazing. Yes.
Yeah. And I think doing something like that would be incredibly cool. I've always been a huge Star Wars fan since I was very young. In fact, I'm even wearing a Star Wars shirt.
You're rocking a Star Wars shirt.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that would be pretty rad. And I think Kelly's going to say, and I could be wrong, but I think he's going to say Transformers.
Oh.
You are wrong.
Okay.
You're wrong, but you're not, because that is definitely in the top 5 things that I'd love to get a hold of. Man-Thing is my go-to.
That's right.
That's the top of my list.
Okay.
It's either that or Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Ooh.
Those two.
Both are great. Both are great.
And I did a fan comic or whatever a while back that's called Loose Ends, and it picks up right at the end of the first movie, and it shows. Shut up.
Yeah, I don't agree with that either.
See, you made me lose my train of thought. It picks up at the end, and it shows what happens to the semi driver that just runs off the opposite direction when she takes off in the back of the truck. Because it always drives me nuts that dude. I'm like, that dude's just on foot running, and he's a big guy. He's not getting anywhere too fast, and so I did that. It's on my website actually, but that was the closest I ever got to doing the Texas Chainsaw Massacre thing. But at the same time, I would love to play with tons of stuff, lots of that stuff, but I am same as Joe. I'm fairly content telling my own stories or working with friends and telling stories. It's different than it used to be. The end goal isn't about the big two, if that's your goal, great, but you're also, who knows how that's going to go. I make comics because I like telling stories. So, I'll tell them.
So,
even if they're, My Little Pony or something, I guess.
Well, they did a sweet crossover with Transformers, so.
They did, didn't they?
They did.
Yeah. What haven't they crossed over?
Well, you could technically do Star Wars just because, they both come from space. So, that would actually be pretty sweet. So.
Yeah. And they blow up the Doom planet.
Yes. Hey, Steve.
I don't dislike Dune, but
Okay.
I don't like it as much as I like Star Wars.
I
This is
co-sign
facts.
that.
Come on. Star Wars is top tier.
I still
whatever.
haven't been able to
Dune
finish
crap.
reading the book.
Oh,
For a while, I tried
The series or the first one?
just the first one.
Just the first one?
I read like I think I've tried to start reading it like 4 or 5 times now, and I get to a certain point and put it down and just forget about it.
I mean,
Damn.
yes, that's a fair comment, Norin. I realize that there's a strong correlation between the two.
It's all relative to who you are and what you like. Like
Yeah.
Star Wars and Dune, it's not about which one's better. It's about which one you enjoy more. You enjoy Dune more
also true.
than you enjoy Star Wars.
Yeah, and that said, Star Wars is better.
Yeah, Star Wars is top
I
tier.
have an
It's
appreciation
literally.
for Dune as well.
I have read the first book. I didn't go in any other ones past that,
Oh.
but I enjoyed the first book a lot.
Yeah.
And the new movies are pretty incredible. I've never seen the 80s movie.
Oh, really?
Oh, okay.
The David Lynch one?
No.
Dawn's still pretty good, but I really wish they would have made John Roski's Dune.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
that would have been pretty awesome. That documentary looked great.
I do need to check
That's
out
the
that
best we're ever
documentary.
going to get is that documentary.
Yeah.
This is so good. So cheesy. Also, so they were comparing Dune versus Star Wars, and considering that you already have Star Wars tattoos, I'm going to say you like Star Wars more than Dune.
Oh, yeah, I do, don't I?
Oh, no, I meant
He always
Bleak, but...
Doesn't even know where it is.
That's awesome. Uh-oh. Okay.
I think that's fair.
Yeah.
That's totally fair. But also, Dune was made to be a book.
Yes.
Star Wars was made to be a movie. So, of course, they're like, they exemplify like those two things. You know, they're the top because those are the things that they were supposed to be, I guess, you know.
Yeah. I think Edgar Rice Burroughs was way before his time, and I really like the John Carter of Mars series, but I wish it could have done more with like TV or something with it as well.
I'm surprised they haven't done a show. Like it's kind of right.
They did.
For it.
Disney did a movie, right, recently?
Yeah.
I mean, in the past 10 years.
Yeah, they did a movie, and then there was a really, really, really cheesy one in the 90s with, I think it's Antonio Sabato Jr. John Carter of Mars, or no, it's Princess of Mars or something. It's really cheesy. Yeah.
Oh, I guess I do know. Yeah. I forgot about the Princess of Mars thing.
Yeah. Okay.
Wow, you guys are.
They're really going
in on the Star Wars and the Dune. Yeah. Yeah.
Look what you started, Kelly.
Damn.
I didn't start.
No, that was Norin, I think. Norin started that. You guys are hilarious to me. Well, excuse me. Oh, damn. CJ, you got like 500 questions in the damn thing that I started. Let's go with Glenn's question. I guess you could also say probably Star Wars. But what is your favorite film of all time?
Ooh.
Good question.
Kelly, you go.
I tend to just shrug at favorite lists because like how do you do that? You know, how do you
so many.
How do you narrow things down to that?
Yeah.
I don't know. I can tell you like what I'm super into right now, but tomorrow it could be completely different.
So if you're gonna put on a movie right this second, what movie are you gonna be putting on? Pressure. I know that's probably the hardest question that you're ever gonna have to ever.
I'll go.
Oh, okay.
I just got. I'm with Kelly. I think it's hard to just narrow down a single favorite movie.
Yeah.
Of all time, but into now, I just got Across the Spider-Verse, the digital download, and that movie is incredible.
Ooh.
Yeah, I still haven't watched that.
I haven't seen it either. I gotta watch that soon. It looks really
highly
good.
recommend.
I do like the art style that they have. Also, the
Oh, it's
Ewoks
so cool.
movies, some of my favorite movies. I will watch the Ewoks movies all the time. Just like,
Oh, the Ewok movie.
yeah, they're great. They're cheesy, but they're great. Come on, they really scream
We
80s.
watched them.
And then,
Well, we watched the first one recently, and I was like, yeah, you know, I really loved it when I was a kid. And it's still what it is, you know, like they were low budget TV movies, so
They're probably higher quality than the Christmas special, though.
I feel like this Nora dude just wants to fight.
Yeah. Norid, yeah, he's
he's
coming
stirring
in
the
hard.
pot.
He is stirring the pot.
He keeps stirring
We'll
that pot.
I'll wait till these other questions come in. Yes.
If I'm not gonna say Star Wars, my other go-to is probably Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Okay.
That's what I thought.
Perfect.
You were gonna say.
Chop Top, one of the top best dudes ever. Way to go, Bill. He's awesome. I like part 2. I also like part 3. Just watch that all the time.
I don't.
Yeah.
I'm not a snob about that. You know, like.
Oh.
I don't think like they're all amazing, but
yeah,
they all have Leatherface doing stuff, and I'm down to watch Leatherface do stuff. You know. I think 2 might be my favorite one, but I think it goes back and forth, you know, like between the first one and the second one.
First one's more serious. I'd say second one's more campy, but they're both great. I love them all. Oh my gosh, you guys, I swear. I enjoy those movies a lot. I do enjoy Monster Squad a lot. I'll watch that all the time.
Yeah.
Good, great movie. Okay, here's one of CJ's questions. He says, "What's been your greatest success so far to date?"
I don't have any.
Are we talking financially? Because
anything.
Well,
financially.
If we're talking about financial success, I think we're done here.
Are we talking, like emotionally, metaphysically?
Yeah.
What are we talking here?
Yeah, come on. Repeat your questions, CJ. What are you talking about? Oh my gosh. Don't ask new questions. Reword this question.
I'll try to answer it just based on whatever.
Okay.
I think if I was gonna say that about anything, it'd probably just be the first like professional gig that I got, which was Dark Horse. I drew a story in Erie, and then I did a pinup in Creepy. Both were like the final issues before they just stopped making it again. But I think I'll always look at that as being like a big moment, just because it felt like kind of starting at the top, because I'm like Erie and Creepy, like, that's the top, and like and to just be like, we need somebody to draw this. I'm like, oh yeah, let me think about it, I guess.
The Eries and Creepies, if you go back and get some of the very earlier ones, have some of the greatest art like ever on the cover for those covers. Rosetta horror stuff. Come on, that stuff is great.
Amazing.
Oh.
Yeah.
This just came out.
Yeah.
Dark Horse reprint. It's got the first 5 issues. This just came out.
That just came out?
Yeah, it's got the first 5 issues in it. All.
Is it's printed magazine size?
Yeah.
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah, it's nice.
Oh, that's cool.
I didn't know
look at that.
that.
Yeah. Nice. Okay. Oh my God, you guys are.
So industry-wise, for me, it would have to be a letter to Joe, because that was my first published work. Landing it with a publisher like Top Shelf was huge. A lot of that's not exactly. I really like the books the Top Shelf puts out, and I thought it was my number one choice for the book. If I could have picked any publisher, I would have picked Top Shelf. So it was incredible to land that there. And then it was just an important story to me, a story that I felt like needed to be told. So I was just that would be my, I guess, my biggest success then.
Yeah, I'd say that's really good too, because it's a very personal story to your family. So that's got to be something awesome that your family can enjoy.
Yeah.
We have a question for Kelly. What do you think of the upcoming Exorcist film?
I mean, I'm excited about it just in that sense of like, you know, it's The Exorcist. Sure, like I'll give anything a chance. You know, I personally haven't. Well, I take that back. I was to say I haven't looked at anything, but I guess I watched that teaser or the trailer that they released recently. And I mean, it does look. That trailer looked really good. Like,
Yeah.
it's piqued my interest for sure.
I hope they go more creepy with it and get into more like the demonic stuff, because when I watch the original Exorcist, I think it's one of the funniest movies of all time. I'm sorry, I giggle every single time I watch that movie.
I think I love The Exorcist, and The Exorcist is maybe one of the first horror movies I ever watched, and you know, scared the shit out of me. But
yeah.
So like to this day, it still like has a big spot in my heart. But I think I just worry that it'll have the same issues that like we'll say like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre thing. Like you're never gonna be able to nail that again. Like they were very much products of their time, and like the consciousness of just the culture and everything. Like it was all very in that moment. So like I've always said, like the only way I could see you doing a Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie where it's good like the original was is if you manage to successfully make a found footage movie and you went about marketing the same way they did Cloverfield, where nobody knew anything about it. Like you just don't say it's a Texas Chainsaw movie. You just put out this movie, and then everybody gets a shock when, like, you know, Leatherface pops up on screen. Like, I feel like those are the only ways you can possibly mimic the same power that it had. And I think The Exorcist a little less so, but it's still relevant because at that time when it came out, like, you know, that was the thing. I mean, Amityville came out like right after that, I think. Like we went through that phase of
like possession and stuff like that. Yeah.
The Omen, Rosemary's Baby and stuff.
Okay. So do you have are you looking forward to it as well, Joe?
I haven't seen I didn't even know they're making another one, so this is all news to me.
I think they're making a TV series and movies, because didn't they just come out with the one that was slightly in the Exorcist universe with Russell Crowe?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they got a couple of little things. Yeah, they got a couple. It's something to do with the Exorcist universe. Yeah.
Huh.
I can't remember the name of it, but yeah.
The Pope's Exorcist or something.
Pope something. Yeah. It looked interesting. Amityville was 79. Yeah. Middle there. Okay. Yeah. 70s had a lot of interesting horror movies, but the TV series looks interesting.
Wasn't Texas Chainsaw, or I'm sorry, not Texas Chainsaw Massacre. The Exorcists. Wait, did he just say that? I'm sorry, I got all confused.
There's a lot of movies. Amityville and Omen and Exorcist. All of the Pope's Exorcist. It was good. All right, I'll have to watch it because it looked really good.
Yeah, I just didn't want to watch it because of Russell Crowe. So
fair. There's a lot of movies I don't want to watch because some people are in it. Like I can't. I don't want to watch that guy.
No Gladiator fans here? No.
I do love Gladiator. Gladiator's a really good movie. Yeah. Oh. Okay.
No.
No.
I do. I like Gladiator.
I don't even remember Gladiator hardly. So,
I remember a lot of fighting and a lot of like.
I think they're making another one of that too. Actually,
they are making another one of that. I
Yeah.
don't know how they're going. What timeline they're
don't
going?
know
They're
either.
going the same people. I don't know. That'd be interesting.
it'd be cool if they just go like complete Bill and Ted with it or something.
Yes.
Be time travel.
I could deal
To
with
save
that.
his
I could deal
family.
with that. Yeah, there was a couple 80s movies where they took like weird Vikings and they brought them into like the 1980s. They were fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Good question here, Phil. Also, hello. What is your favorite dip? What's your flavor dip for McNuggets? What are you going with?
So
Your
you want to
sauce.
start, Mr. Williams there, who doesn't eat meat?
I don't eat chicken nuggets, so I don't know that I have. You know what? Actually, I don't eat McNuggets, but
Yeah.
I do occasionally eat the fake ones, the vegetarian ones.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
I have barbecue sauce, I guess.
Barbecue sauce.
It
Okay.
just seems right. I don't. I probably use ketchup like 90% of the time because I'm lazy, but
Okay.
yeah, barbecue sauce sounds right.
Barbecue sauce.
Yeah.
I'm a sweet and sour. What kind of sauce are you getting?
You know, I'm not a McDonald's person. I would
Okay.
probably never order McNuggets. I do really like, however, the McDonald's chicken fries. They have this like zesty sauce that comes with it.
Oh, okay.
And I love that sauce with French fries.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a couple places that make really good sauce that I don't put on anything. If I do get nuggets from McDonald's, they got to be dunked in sauce. But other ones, I don't actually get sauce. I just eat them straight up because they're more flavorful.
We were in Chicago. Well, I guess I don't know, a couple months ago, and a friend that we were with really wanted to go to the international McDonald's.
Oh, okay.
I guess it's the only one in the country, and you can get stuff from other countries and stuff. And so I was like, well, okay. I mean, I don't want to go to McDonald's, but we could do that, I guess. And we got there, and you add to it being a vegetarian and stuff. Like me and him both are, and like we got there and we're looking at the menu, and I'm like, I can't eat anything. Like it's all the same stuff, and then there was like 2 items that were like, I think one was Germany and one was India, and the India one was a veggie burger.
Okay.
Kind of thing, and the other one was, I don't know, it was a burger and it had some sauce on it or something. So I guess the whole point is I was very disappointed. That was me giving McDonald's one last chance. Like, it didn't go well for them. So.
Have you tried like the Impossible Whopper?
Yeah,
I've heard that's pretty good.
It's better than
it's pretty decent.
Coming from Burger King.
Yeah. All right. So I think that answered your question, Phil. We're getting way more interesting questions here. Okay. Okay. Question from also Phil. I might say this goes for any publisher, really. Do you get a say over ash cans, metal covers, etc., or does like the publisher make those decisions?
So I guess the easy, quick answer would be both. In terms of like content, designs, things like that, we get a lot of say, and we're involved in all of that and those conversations. We were in a meeting with the Scout president, James Hack, and we were discussing doing a metal cover, and we ended up doing a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive metal cover for the book. So we were part of that conversation, but they also make a lot of decisions in terms of like print runs and those kinds of decisions. So I don't know. I guess the easy answer again, it would just probably just be both. We're part of those conversations, but at the end of the day, they are the publisher, so they make the decisions.
I mean,
Okay.
there's a decent amount of control on that stuff on our part because Joe and I, neither of us really cared about doing a ton of variant covers.
Okay.
But Scout wants to do variant covers, but they didn't like make us do a bunch of covers we didn't want to do. Like we were just like, we'll do these two, and that's it. And like that was fine. Like, that was it. And then I guess I've drawn more.
I guess, and going along those same lines too, they had mentioned putting out an ash can, and we said, well, looking at their ash cans, that most of their ash cans are just the first half of the first issue, and we were like, oh, we don't really want to do that. So we did our own standalone ash can story, which is kind of meta in that it's an ash can kind of about ash cans. And then we included some other extra stuff in there, like history of superheroes in Cleveland, and how Joe Shuster and Jerry Siegel invented Superman in Cleveland. And we threw some other funny things in there, like a fake letters page where Captain Suave and his sidekick are answering questions from people. We put in like a crossword puzzle and stuff like that in there. So like they definitely let us do when it comes to like that kind of stuff, and certainly with the stories and the art and everything, we get to do basically what we want.
Okay. So with that question, where'd it go? Just jumped around. Do you have any aspirations starting? Oh, I'll go back to that. Don't worry. Do you have any aspirations starting your own comic publishing house?
No.
0.
No. Okay, perfect. Well, let's go back to this one. What creator do you despise the most?
Despise?
Yeah.
I can't answer that.
Of course you can. Ha 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 ha.
No.
Ha ha.
I mean, it'd probably be easier to tell you how many I like.
Okay, because that's the next question. What creator do you admire the most?
I appreciate that question a lot. I do. I'm not going to answer.
That's okay.
Admire the most? I don't know. That's another one of those. It's hard to narrow it down to just a person or a group of people or whatever. I admire people that try. They don't let all of the nonsense get in the way. Like I admire Jason Copeland for what he did with Full Tilt, and just said, I want to do my thing, and spent a couple years doing his thing, and now it's finished and he's about to do a Kickstarter. And I think it's awesome that he was able to do that and not have to play the game, juggling multiple things, trying to do it. He was able to just focus on his thing, tell his story, get it done, and talk about it and show it the whole time while he's working on it. So lots of interest is already built up for it and everything. Plus it just looks fucking rad. So, there's that too. So I don't know. Jason Copeland? I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
So that's an interesting choice for all time ever. I thought you were gonna say like
I don't know.
or somebody.
Is that what they
So for me, this is easier for me. Writing wise, the two best comic writers, in my opinion, of all time are Alan Moore and Neil Gaiman. That's an easy one for me. Neil Gaiman's my favorite overall writer. So those would be my two writers. And then art wise, I would go with the single best comic artist of all time, Jack Kirby.
Oh, okay. So if you guys were
Bernie Wrightson, then if we're going
okay,
for all,
okay, all right, yeah,
just
okay. I was gonna say, yeah, you facts, Glenn. So if you were able to take up like a Bernie Wrightson story, would you ever want to do a Bernie Wrightson story? Like if you were to take like from that era, let's say a Swamp Thing or Man Thing in that section, would you want to do a story like Bernie Wrightson style? Or
I don't
your own
know
thing?
that I follow, but yeah.
Okay.
I mean, outside of the intimidation factor, I'd be all over something like that.
Okay. Same question for Joe. Would you want to write something like inspired? If Kirby could do a book for you now, or would you want to write something?
I mean, Kirby's hands are in, so much at DC and Marvel that like so many people have picked up that baton, right? So yeah, I would be down for that.
Okay. Guys are a bunch of turds.
You talking to us? Sorry about that.
Both you guys are turds. No.
Kelly's a worse jerk if you're keeping track at home.
I mean,
what?
Yeah,
well, he did refuse to answer and back out of the despise question. So
here. So we don't get called spineless. Kelly Williams, I despise the most.
Okay. Damn.
See, I'm not going to throw you under the bus like that.
Oh, damn. Okay.
I think the person I despise most in comics is I was gonna try to do something, but I don't know.
Okay.
It just wasn't going anywhere.
It's okay. You're fine.
Nothing but love.
Lady Fantastic has a amazing question.
Whoever's not paying me enough, that's the person I hate most.
Whoever's not paying you enough, all right, I can see that. Yeah, screw that person. You need a double, triple.
Yes, I motorboat my grandma for $20,000.
My grandmothers are deceased.
So it's real easy for me to say I would do that.
My grandmothers are deceased, Lady Fantastic. So I hope you feel great about that question.
Oh, damn.
But
would you still motorboat them?
Motorboat them though.
That's the question. Yeah.
You do have some interesting.
I told you we're
people
weird.
in
I know.
This chat here.
Yeah. Oh damn! They're coming hard for you. They're man. Yikes.
Oh, I mean, sure.
Could be.
There's a lot of people. I ran into a lady. Her name was Jeff. Interesting names out there.
Early on, when I first started doing conventions, well, actually, just in comics in general, when I really started to get going, I had a lot of people coming up to my table and asking when Kelly was going to be back.
Oh.
And I'm like, I'm Kelly. They're like, oh, I thought you were a girl.
Oh.
Like, yeah, okay. And I've more than once had editors email me assuming that I'm a girl. And I don't care. Like, it doesn't bother me at all. But I feel this, like, need to correct them so that later it doesn't come up, because like I'd hate to just be like, yeah, whatever, and then something happens and they're like, oh well, he pretended to be a girl so that he could do this.
Yeah.
Like, I just
want to me because people think I'm a guy a lot. I'm like, I would check, and then they're like, what, you're a girl? Yeah, I'm like, no, it's fine, I'm just dude. Yes, this is facts, Tate. That's myself. Part of this you enjoy the least?
Business.
The business. Oh, okay.
I mean, that's just a straight answer. The business. I hate the business of comics, but I love comics. I hate the business of comics.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
You
guys do focus a lot on the negative aspects too. I've noticed.
Well, there's that one.
What do you hate the most?
But the business you enjoy the most?
Drawing comics.
For me, it's just when you hold it in your hands, like you've worked on this thing for so long, and then you finally have it there, and you and then people can experience it. That's an incredible feeling.
Yeah, there's still a twinge of that no matter how long you're doing it, I think. Like, there's still something about holding this thing that you made, like, and knowing that somebody else might pick it up too. So, there's something cool about that.
That's cool. That's gotta be awesome feeling when people actually do like meet you at like cons or like meet and greets, and then like you see them picking up your stuff and like interacting with you guys. That's gotta be a lot of fun.
Yep.
Okay.
Yes.
No, yeah, it's cool. Like I'm real I don't know. Like I'm not a big I'm not an ego guy, I guess. So I still feel awkward when people come up and compliment or talk about how much they like something. I just feel really awkward. I don't really know what to say. And like I've had people come up crying, because of commissions or something, and I'm like, I feel incredible. This is insanely flattering, but I'm not the person to come to with that because I'm not going to know how to interact with you.
Okay.
I'm going to be like, why are you crying? What's wrong with you? I'm not going to do that. I'm just kidding. But yeah, it's cool though. Like it's just a weird thing to get used to. For me, it was for me anyways.
Okay. Do you still you go to a lot of cons? Do you guys both go to a lot of cons, or just like you pick a couple here and there?
I don't go to that many. Kelly goes to a bunch. I do some like local shows. We've done C2E2 together in Chicago. But Kelly, you speak to all the places you go.
Oh, well, I mean, I haven't been doing as many as I was, but yeah, I still do a few a year, I think. My general, like, I do them every year type things are C2E2, Heroes.
Oh, okay.
And then, like, some smaller shows, Memphis Comic Expo, because it's kind of near me, and the Air Capital in Wichita. Like I go to those shows like every year.
Okay.
But
that's cool. You probably ran into some of our crew over at Heroes because we had like 40 to 50 people that went this year. They did a massive meetup. So probably met some. Maybe. You probably got harassed in person by some of these buttholes. Yeah.
Yeah, we were talking about this. We were talking about this beforehand backstage, but you should mention, Kelly, that you're going to be at New York Comic Con this year, and I'm sure a lot of your listeners might be going to that as well.
Yeah, right here. CJ will be there. Answer these questions for him in person.
Yeah, I'll get to you later.
This is a good question here that Tate has. Where's the best place to find both of your work and order your books?
Well, so you can certainly go to the individual publishers' websites. You could ask your local comic book shop. My graphic novels are also on Amazon. There will be a trade paperback, by the way, of the first 5 issues of The Life and Death of the Brave Captain Suave coming out at the end of October. And that will be distributed through Simon & Schuster as well. So that'll be in bookstores too.
Cool.
You can go to Barnes & Noble or BAM or any of those.
I mean, I got nothing to add to that. That's just how it is. I don't have a shop or anything, so that's too much.
Can people message you if they want a commission from you? How does that work?
Sure.
Okay.
Well, I generally do commissions nowadays through my art dealer, Cadence Comic Art.
Okay.
So it's always, you could get a hold of me, like either way works, but odds are you're gonna get bounced over to there, especially like right now because I'm not really taking any commissions. I'll probably take a few pre-order type things for New York.
Okay.
But other than that, I don't know that I'll open commissions again this year, just because I've got too much on my plate as it is. So, you know.
There is original art from our books, though, on Cadence Comic Art. So if anybody's interested in that.
Okay, I'll have to look that up and I'll link it down below so people can check that out for you guys. Yeah, they're probably super busy and don't have time for commissions because, you know, working on too much stuff. So.
Yeah. Or they take them anyways. And then they're like, oh man, it's just taking me forever.
I am open for commissions, but they will be terrible.
Oh, amazing.
And expensive.
Expensive. Terrible and expensive. You know, that kind of sounds amazing.
Commission at C2E2 a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
So
I'll tell that story. So this girl comes up to Kelly and she's like, "Man, you draw really cool monsters and stuff. You think you could do like a red like siren?" And he's like, "Yeah, totally." So he gets to work on that, and then I got to work as well, where I drew like an actual like alarms siren, and I drew it, I painted it, I made some cool sound effects like wee 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 going through the page there, and handed that to her before Kelly gave her the real siren, the monster siren, and to her credit, she honestly didn't look that disappointed.
No.
Wow.
She was really good at faking it.
That's amazing. So we already got someone claiming one of your terrible and expensive commissions.
You got it. You're number one.
Oh, perfect. Thanks, Flood. Yes.
Yeah, I haven't. A lot of the newer stuff hasn't been added yet, but it'll. I'm kind of excited to put. I'm excited for people to see this next book just because I don't know. I put a lot of work into it, and you know, it's got gross monsters and stuff, and I like drawing gross monsters. So, you know,
who doesn't like that? It's amazing. Okay, CJ wants to know, what is your crazy experience with a fan? Craziest experience.
Oh, that's a hard one to answer just because there have been a few.
Oh, wow.
Definitely been a few. I don't think I've had anybody be like rude or mean or anything, but I've definitely had people that hung around longer than they should have, maybe, you know, like at a con. And I'm always fine with talking to people and stuff. Like, I'll do it. But there's this point where like the conversation has hit its maximum, you know, impact, and they just kind of stay, and like there's that point where like nobody's saying anything, but they're still there, you know, like for another 30 minutes or something.
Wow. Are usually just like they're watching you draw, or just like standing there just in awe of your beard, like
they are just hanging out. I mean, I've had people come up and do that and sit their drinks down on the table and stuff, and like I mean, everybody that's tabled at a convention has had some weird interactions, you know, and
oh yeah.
I was talking about this with somebody not too long ago, like at Heroes, and I was like, I don't really complain about the people a lot anymore, like being weird or creepy or whatever, because I'm like, no matter how bad it is for me, that girl over there is probably having one of the worst experiences of her life. So, you know, I feel like complaining about that stuff, it's really not that bad for, you know, me. So.
Okay. What about you, Joe? You have any experiences?
Yeah, I don't know. Nothing like crazy bad really stands out to me. A cool thing, a crazy good thing, I guess, would be there's a local artist here in Cleveland. His name's Gary Dumb, and he was actually a pretty big fan of our work on Captain Suave, and he actually worked on American Splendor with Harvey Picar, and
okay.
we got to chatting some, and he wanted a piece of original art from Captain Suave. So I talked to Kelly, and we brokered a deal where I would get a copy of a book that he did with Harvey Picar called Ego and Hubris, which is impossible to find. It's a very rare book. And this was like brand new book. And he had me over his house, showed me a bunch of his art and stuff. And it was just a really cool experience for me. So not crazy bad, crazy good.
That's awesome. I like it when people have better experiences at cons than worse ones, because you can meet some amazingly wonderful people, especially if it's just some friends that you know in the community. Just go and have a good time. But
yeah,
that's my favorite part, is going to meet artists and creators at cons. So
I've made friends with people like that just came up to the table and
yeah,
they liked the stuff or whatever, and like there's a handful of people that I talk to regularly that I met that way.
well, that's so cool.
But I mean, it's literally like a handful. Like there's 5
Yeah, so we have 2 questions related to movies and books. 1, what's your favorite Godzilla movie? And 2, what is your favorite Stephen King story?
What was the first one?
Godzilla movie.
Godzilla movie, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm always gonna probably say just the original first Godzilla movie, just because I fucking love that movie. And other than that, though, I think I don't know why, but I think like Godzilla 1985 was like, I think it's partially because I just really liked that design of Godzilla. He kind of had that more cat look to him, I guess. And so, yeah, I like those, I guess.
Okay.
I don't know. It's hard to say because I like all of them, but
kaiju movies are the best, really. They are. Even Son of Godzilla, for being how cheesy and dumb that is pretty amazing. I mean, it's kind of hilarious, but yeah, it's pretty
yeah.
Joe, do you like Godzilla movies or kaiju movies?
Honestly, I'm not really big on the Godzilla or King Kong or all that. But I can answer the Stephen King story question.
Okay, perfect.
Definitely Shining book movie. That'd be my number 1.
Did you enjoy the original movie and then the Dr. Sleep movie, or have you not?
I did. I actually did like the Dr. Sleep movie as well. I mean, it's hard to beat Kubrick, but and I really like the book as well. But yeah, that'd be my top there.
Okay. I don't know about that, but we'll see. I'm still kind of off my game this week, but hey, welcome back. Hey, welcome back. But I do enjoy everybody that comes on here. So you guys are awesome. And got a fan of Son of Godzilla. Nice. Eggy has a very hard-hitting question. Best Star Trek captain. Oh, dang, Eggy. These are Star Wars peeps.
I'll say Picard probably. For me, Picard's probably the one I liked.
Okay, I like Picard. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm probably in the same camp because I was a little too young for Kirk. And when I was growing up, Next Generation was on, so Picard was primarily my captain, and then I didn't really watch the other ones much after that, so I'd probably be in the same camp.
Yeah, I think maybe Picard. I don't know. I think maybe he resonated with me just because I was younger. Like that Next Generation was happening when I was a kid, growing up or whatever. So I think that just made him stick out more for me. Like, because I like Kirk and everything, but I think maybe I didn't have the same connection with Kirk because I was, not as older or whatever. So yeah.
It seems like people really like Deep Space Nine. I'm wondering if I should watch that.
Oh, Deep Space Nine was fun. It was more quirkier than the rest of them, I would say. The Picard stuff was more a tad bit serious. like you got the really campy original stuff, but you know, I like Deep Space Nine, and I liked what's the other one? Shoot, I can't remember the other one's name.
Voyager.
Yes, Voyager. I actually like Voyager as well. So I didn't.
I haven't watched that newest thing with that captain that everybody's super into now, the really handsome guy with the silver hair.
Oh, yeah.
But I will say that is a very handsome man, so I'm okay with putting him in my tops just because.
Okay.
Just based on handsomeness.
I can understand why people like him.
Yeah.
For the handsomeness side, anyway.
All right, now let's rank them on best looking.
Oh.
Well, I guess he's the top, right?
Yeah. Then, Picard's also sexy. He's got that, you know, nice shaved bald head. That's pretty hot.
True.
Yeah.
You know who's at the bottom of the list?
Who's that?
Shatner, or you know what?
Shatner. Okay. Yeah. Well,
he was handsome in his day, Kelly.
He was a stud back in this. Oh, come on, you go back in the 60s and the 70s. He was like primetime stud.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, he was. Okay. Yeah. I mean, they did, you know.
Whatever.
He does live on in Michael Myers, but you know.
He was better in that.
He was better at that. Yeah, he was. Truckies scare you. Cards hand down. Oh, you like Cisco? Okay. Oh, what is Figure saying? Okay. I love Ghidorah and Mothra. Mothra has got some good music. The soundtrack to Godzilla, come on, it's amazing. Oh, dang.
Yeah, I've been wanting to pick up all of the soundtracks on vinyl, but like,
great.
They started pumping them out so fast. I'm like, I can't afford to do all that. But I have a couple. I have that original one. I mean, you know,
it's good stuff. That's a very good soundtrack. Direct sequel to the original one? Okay. Oh, we got Sergio. Hey, Sergio. What's up? What's we got? More people popping in. Nice. Oh my gosh. So many things happening. Kelly. Wow. Okay. You guys are weird.
Kelly getting called out in the chat.
That's okay. They're all buttholes, so you know you can make fun of them, call them whatever you want. This is actually a good question too. Is there anything? What was that, Kelly? I didn't hear.
I don't know these people. What do
I? Oh, yeah, they're weirdos. I know. So this is a good question. Is there anything off limits that you do not want to write about or draw?
Rape.
Say it again.
Rape.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, I would definitely.
Yeah, I don't like.
Agree with that.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, I guess I never really sat down and thought about that. Because for me, as I write whatever interests me and whatever I'm just kind of feeling at the time. So I don't know. I don't have any like set guidelines or anything. But yeah, that's something I wouldn't really be interested in doing.
So Glenn says yes, we're gonna get motorboating grandmas from.
No, I already said I would do that.
Yeah, we. Perfect.
I have weird limits, I guess. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So I know you guys wanted to keep this to around about an hour, so it's about 1:20. So I don't know how long you want to
do. Maybe 10 more minutes or so.
Okay, perfect. So any final questions? I know CJ, you have about 40 in that I starred. But does anybody else have any more questions pertaining to you guys' work? So at the end of Captain Suave, it says that he might possibly be back. Are you guys going to, besides the trade, going to bring him back for anything?
Yeah, I think that's the intent. We envisioned it from the very beginning as a 10-issue mini. So those first 5 issues are the complete first arc. And then I actually have written another 5 issues. Kelly's hard at work in some other projects right now, but yeah, that's the intent, to return to Captain Suave at some point.
Okay. Yes. Does anybody have any questions?
Finish the rest of the story there.
Yeah. For the story would be nice. Good question. Yeah. You see, your questions are the only ones that matter. Yes.
Sure. Was that a question?
It could have been a question. Good idea. Glenn with the hard-hitting questions. Step up your game. Oh my God, you guys are. Hey, we have some new people just popping in. Hi. So we're going to be ending this stream. Oh, you guys are super dorks. Oh, okay. That's a good question. I guess that would be a Cully question.
I don't know. I hate everything I do after about 5 minutes.
Okay.
I mean, I wish I was kidding, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's my favorite, but the thing that seemed like it got the most legs for a while, and every time it pops up, I'm like, yeah, it doesn't look bad. Is
Oh.
oh
Wait.
Finally.
Finally. Hello. Hi. Welcome back.
We got some thunderstorms rolling in here.
Oh, okay.
I did a cover for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, like feels like forever ago. I don't know, it was maybe 5 years ago or something. But I still like that. I still think it looks good, you know, and you know.
That is
There's
a cool
probably
cover.
some commissions that if I go back and look at them, I'd be like, oh yeah, that one was okay, you know. So.
Okay. Oh, here's a question for Kelly. Oh, it's a good question, actually.
Like my old art?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, see how far you come. No. No, I don't think I don't dwell too much on the old stuff. I occasionally do see something old and go, yeesh, you know, like it all of a sudden it makes the stuff that I'm like, oh, I don't like that now seem amazing. So, I mean, I suppose if it happens, yeah, I probably do look at things and go, you know, look how far I've come. But I don't dwell on it a whole lot, I don't think.
Okay.
Is that part of the last question? Like,
I don't know. G, you want to expand on that? I'm not sure. Well, here's a question. This can go for either one of you. This is Rude's favorite question. What superhero would you guys kill?
Kill?
Yes.
Gambit.
Kill
Real life?
dead. Yeah, either one, but they're dead. They cannot come back at all, even as a zombie.
You know,
I get rid of Gambit.
I don't know, but yeah, Gambit. I would kill Gambit.
Gambit.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. And how
I
are you
would
taking?
murder the shit out of Gambit.
Wow. Wow. How are you taking Gambit out?
I've never really cared for Gambit a whole lot.
Okay.
With his baton.
Wow. Okay. Perfect.
Yeah. Brutally.
And
Brutally. Nice.
His Van Halen guitar bib that he wears.
See, this is my go-to. I always say Cyclops has to go because I hate Cyclops with a fiery passion.
I don't hate him like I used to, but
wow. Okay. They kind of already answered that, but you came in kind of late, Tate. Do you want to answer this again?
On your feelings of the boom of exclusive. Well, yeah, I'm not a big fan. As a reader, I am not a fan.
Yeah.
As an artist looking for work, I don't mind it a whole lot.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just personally feel like it's setting up the industry for what really was the downfall in the 90s, where you had all the speculator bubble going, and then it just all blew up. So I don't know. I know it's driving sales now. I just wonder long term what kind of effect it's going to have on the industry.
I mean, it's like anything in comics. Like eventually, even if it doesn't destroy it, like it'll piddle out. Like it's just the way it is. And you know, I don't fault anybody for being into that, you know, but as far as I go, yeah, I agree with Joe. I feel like it can't be the healthiest thing when you're padding numbers by just putting a different cover on the same book 12 times and putting it out there. I personally, I would rather be able to say that my book did well on its own merits, and it didn't need like a super famous person doing the cover or whatever. I'm saying all that, and the book that I'm finishing up, we got a couple really good artists for the variants, and we need to keep the variants low on that one too, because I don't want to overdo that.
Yeah, I was happy. We did 2 variant covers for issue 1 of Captain Suave, and I was very happy with both of them, particularly the Dave Walker cover was really rad. So while we did have those couple of variants, I'm glad we didn't go crazy with them.
Yeah, I think there's plenty of room to do a couple here and there and stuff. Yeah, I'm not big on the 25.
Some are overkill. Some have like 100, which is insane. Like I can't. That's too many, and then it pisses me off because I think I'm buying different books and it ends up being the same book.
I have absolutely done that before. Got home and fuck.
I know, it annoys me. I want to complete collections. I really only want like one of each book, but I would rather have more like art on my walls of it than I would in a box somewhere.
Also, honestly, I would say 90% of the time, if I'm faced with lots of choices for the same book, I just buy whatever the standard cover is. Like, because I mean, I know as an artist that like it's great to be able to have other people, do their interpretations of stuff, and like it's just cool, but at the same time, I know as an artist who poured everything into a book, sometimes maybe it doesn't feel the best to find out that this book did really well, but it was mostly this one person's cover.
That's gotta suck. Yeah.
So personally, I'll buy just the standard cover because why not? And I don't know if I'm a good gauge for it. I used to buy the cover that I liked the most, but like now, I'm just grumpy about it. So like, I just don't even want to mess with it,
Yeah, because you have like exclusives, then you have variants, and then you have ratios now. It's like you can't keep up with all this stuff. It's too much.
Yeah,
like I'd rather.
It's like, you kind of have to play that game if you're making comics right now, just because that's what publishers want to do, or most publishers want to do. But luckily, there's publishers that don't mess with that, or they're smart enough to keep it to a minimum. Like maybe they do one for just one variant, and then maybe there's an exclusive for whatever. I think part of it too is that publishers figured out that they can get comic shops to pay for variants.
That's also true.
So I think that's where a lot of that's coming from too. Like a lot of shops are paying artists to do variants exclusively for them.
Yeah, that's happening way more than I think ever did before, especially in the last like couple years at the shops. Because I even see people like online that have channels that have their own exclusives. They're not even shops, but they just go and get their own exclusives made, which is interesting. Also, CJ, I'm going to call you out because I call bullshit on this. You don't want to hug anybody, so.
I've hugged Kelly. It's fantastic.
Nice.
There will be no hugging of me at New York.
Yeah, I would say that's true. I hate like 99.99% of any of my art that I've done like at any time. Well, thanks, Tate.
Yeah, great questions from everybody. You got an awesome community here.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I get really nervous sometimes. Like it'll hit me like every now and then. Today I'm kind of like quiet, probably because my lack of sleep this entire week. But I'm normally more vibrant and rowdy, but today I'm just kind of like half dead. Oh, it's very nice to meet both of you. Yes, thank you, Glenn. I believe so.
Yeah, I appreciate everybody logging on and bringing these awesome questions.
Oh, here's a good one, CJ. What is your favorite era of comics?
I'd probably say, I mean, I appreciate all the eras. I love a lot of the old Golden Age stuff. Like I said, a big fan of Kirby. But I'd say probably like late 80s, when you had like, you know, like Watchmen and DKR, and like right around that time was pretty killer time for comics.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think every era of comics has something, you know, amazing about it. But I mean, I think maybe I tend to gravitate more to the pre-Comics Code era of horror comics.
Yeah.
You know? Especially, I don't know, like the 50s and stuff, like just that the EC dominance era, you know, like
that's really good. Yeah, DC and your EC, but you know, Marvel had some good ones as well, which is great.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Oh yeah. I've been going back and getting more into like the pre-code horror myself recently, but I jump around to my different areas of stuff that I like.
Right.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm trying to.
No, I mean that's absolutely that's why I think it's hard to like pick something, because it depends on what day, you know, or what period I'm in.
Yeah, because I started in the 80s and then I jumped around in and out, and then I got back into it in the Bay book era and like Maximum Carnage runs, and then I hopped back down and I went back to like the 70s and earlier stuff, and now I'm like super into like the Eries and the Creepies and going back like the Chamber of Chills and all that stuff.
Yeah,
I'm having a lot of kinds of fun with that. Yes. Okay. Worm hugs. Yeah, you guys were. Oh, thank you, G.
I'm just trying to do my part to spoil an aspect of comics that somebody else loves.
Nice. All right. It's been an hour and a half. We could probably end it here if you guys want to do that. And then.
All right, sounds good.
My wife
gotta go. Perfect. Good. Because I'm tired and I'm hungry, and you know, I would like to go as well. So thank you very much. It was very nice meeting you. Maybe next time I have you on, we'll talk way more about your projects and stuff, now that they ask you the initial bout of you know, questions.
Well, thank you so much for having us. And like I said, I appreciate everybody coming out with these questions.
You're welcome. Yeah, definitely. So bye, guys. Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.